am live again here on Haps. Should be broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube and getting the whole cross platform thing here worked out. Yeah, it looks as if I am. All right, tested it here on the Facebook. And let me look on YouTube. And absolutely shows me live once again. Okay, looks like I'm getting a little pixelization. Pixel. And
you're in landscape mode. It looks like landscape to me.
Hey, buddy. All right, Donald, buddy, you jumped right in there. Yeah, so I am in landscape. Does it look good to you?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, I'm going to close out YouTube, and I'm just going to leave my Facebook open since that's our main target.
Our problem child.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. So let me click on you and see if I can bring you in. There we go. Oh well, where'd it go? There we are. All right. Well, I understand that it's cold, but the blue skies look nice out there.
Yeah, I basically just put that up. It's a picture on my green screen.
Okay, so you can make yourself over at the beach, right?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
pretty handy. Because you can run video and stuff behind it if you want to.
That is handy.
Yeah, it's pretty handy, but it's a little bit of a bugger with the light the way it is because you have to fix it so there's a little bit of tweaking and adjustments that's going on that you can see. I can just
right. Yeah.
Oh, where'd he go? I don't know.
Yeah, you're kind of fading in and out, and then you're pixelated, and then you're sharp. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But
just a little bit of tweaking.
Yeah. So what I did, it took me a little longer than 5 minutes, but I went ahead and I disconnected Facebook, and then I reconnected Facebook, and during the install, let me see if I can find the video here. I actually screen capped it to just to see. Let me make sure that this one here. I'm going to upload it and then maybe share it here as soon as it gets done uploading. There was a bunch. See, on my Facebook page, of course, I'm part of several groups, but I have but I also have a lot of pages that I'm admin over, and and then the HAPS permission says post in your behalf on this and this and this and this, and I can't have that. So I unchecked, and I think last time I unchecked everything except for this time I left one box open, and maybe that might be the difference. So if you can go to my Facebook page and
I'm gonna have to find it.
Okay.
Because I closed down Facebook a little bit ago. So
did you? Okay. Well, let me. I'm just gonna tag you. I'm just gonna tag you. That way, whenever you open it, you should have a tag.
Okay.
That'll be. Guess what?
That works.
It worked. It worked.
Okay.
I just tagged you, and it popped up in HAPS.
Okay, cool. Let me go back over there to Facebook and see what I can pull up.
Okay. Oh, that's so exciting. So it was.
Yeah, that's one thing. I've had I've had kind of like a business page on Facebook for a while, and there was a while there where it just was constantly, It wasn't connecting to the right page basically. So
Oh, right. Okay. So I got another comment and it says chill you. I don't know where that come from. If it come from Haps.
well, you'll be able to see if it's coming from Haps because there won't be any. If you hover over it and click on it, it will
Huh?
show up and it will give you different options. If you hover over somebody's that's on Facebook or YouTube, you'll have limited options.
You mean like hover over and then
In
click?
our comments, in the comments, if you on Haps, when you hover
Yeah.
over a comment and click on it, the amount of options will be different on Haps than it is on Facebook. David
Okay. Okay.
W. David D.W. Cooper. Hey, David. Let's see what's
Hey.
going on.
Yeah. David DW is a really good friend of mine. What's up, Coop? How are you, my man? Thank you for commenting. Hoping that yours is going to show up here soon in Haps. As of now, it has not.
And you know that you can take the link that's on your page, on your Haps page profile. I believe you have it in a couple different places, but most of the time, if you go to your Haps page profile, you can grab that little link that's there. It's like an invite link,
Right?
and you can post that over on YouTube and Facebook, and that'll bring them into the Haps app as well.
Yes. Yes,
Quickly.
I've done that. Yes, I've done that. Unfortunately, not everyone is.
Yeah,
Uh,
some people
uh,
are stubborn.
yeah, they're not always necessarily quick to jump on and then get on board. And then of course it is midday. A lot of people are working. Maybe some of them are just on their phones.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, I've got
Oh,
comments.
Leland. Hi, Leland. That's a friend of mine here in
Oh,
Haps.
it's Leland. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Is that there? That there is from Haps, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. So I'm getting comments that's coming in from um, all from Facebook here, but nothing is still coming in.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
noticing that too.
all right, so let me see if let me see if I can do this. Right, so I just deleted my Facebook and then I'm reconnecting it, and it was said, I don't know, I don't know how to bring it in. Access, blah blah, and groups and pages. Can you see it? Okay.
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the video feed, but now it's stopped
Right.
on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. I was just trying to bring it. I don't know if I have to. Do I have to
That's
pip
that's
it
one
in?
thing. That's one thing you'll find about Facebook, though. If you stop your broadcast on YouTube or on Haps, it will stop on Facebook and it won't restart again. It's like you have to restart and rename a new broadcast to get
Yeah.
it to start again. Because as far as Facebook's concerned, they're just going, "Oh, we have this connection to this particular
Sure. Sure.
broadcast."
You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah. 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 Different gateways change. Each gateway is different. But no. What I'm doing is I'm actually working within Haps, and then I have this recorded file that I uploaded within Haps that I can share with you. And what I'm
Oh
trying
yeah,
to
the other
do,
music file.
yeah, you will kind of like music, but this is a recorded video. This is what I did with how I deleted my Facebook, reattached it. So and I was going to see
Oh,
how
you
to
can.
bring this in
All right.
full
So I
screen.
just deleted my You just
Facebook
have to
and then
click
I'm
on the
reconnecting it,
little
and it
icon that
said
looks like a little tiny
I
box
have some
above the
things to
one, and it'll
access,
bring it
blah
up
blah,
onto the main screen.
and
There
groups
you
and
go.
pages on your behalf. And then previously I was choose what to allow, and then see the list of
Come here,
groups
buddy.
that you're in. I would kind of prefer that not to happen because I mean I'm kind of involved into some private groups. Access your page and apps in Insights, um, and then post
I'm
comments
hearing the
into
audio coming
groups
from
on your
somewhere.
behalf. No,
Is that from that
that will be
video?
kicked. Yes, it is. So,
Okay.
read user content on your page. Yes, but these again are business pages, and I don't want necessarily all
Oh,
that.
that's
So
fit. That's
I don't.
that's weird. Facebook page has refreshed,
Maybe
and
that had
and
something to
now
do
we're
with
both
it.
on there.
Manage comments on your page. East Tennessee, 16. No, I'm sorry. Now, say that again.
The Facebook page is actually pulled back our feed. It's basically restarted it while we're in. So whatever you did, you're still on, or we're still
Well,
on. That's
well,
weird.
well. No, I mean, like I never actually, disconnected it. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
it was always live on my end. I was just trying to bring in this video so that you can see what I did with my Facebook to see if it was going to make any kind of changes, just so that I can show you personally what I did. So yeah, I'm going to bring it back in, and then now that I have the volume turned up, uh, you can look at it a little bit closer.
There seems to be some kind of delay through Facebook.
So that you
About
can
two
see
seconds.
what I did with my. Yeah, I'm going to bring it back in, and then now that I have the volume turned up, uh,
It comes through.
yes, yeah, there's a little bit of a delay between Facebook. I can hear your Facebook audio. All right, so so you got your dogs over there with you, huh?
Yeah. Can you kill that other feed from Facebook or just mute it?
Well, it is muted on my end. So you got your dogs over there with you, huh?
Okay, I think it was maybe coming through. I had the video on pause, but the audio was coming through. That's weird. Okay, whatever.
Okay,
But at least I could see that it was still running.
okay,
I
okay.
thought it was closed down completely, but yeah.
All right.
It seems to be working. I just don't know why the comments are still not coming through.
Yeah. Well, when I tagged you, um, when I comment on the Facebook,
Hmm.
and I can just do it now, and then just all caps test. Um, when I did it, yeah. See, like when I do it,
Huh.
you see, like you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, it
Uh,
came right through.
yeah, came right through, and like it shows my name, Facebook, and bam, and it shows up both on the Facebook as well as the Haps. Now, if you do it, or if anyone else does it, like my buddy Will or Terry or David DW, none of those comments come in.
Yeah, that's odd.
But there's progress because before, when I made a comment, it would not show up. So let me share this video with you, and you can just kind of review it. I've got it turned up so you can hear it, and I'll try to be quiet so that you can listen to what I'm saying. Okay.
All right.
All right. So I just deleted my Facebook, and then I'm reconnecting it, and it was said, "Perhaps would like to access blah blah," and groups and pages on your behalf. And then previously I was choose what to allow, and then see the list of groups that you're in. Uh, I would kind of prefer that not to happen because I mean I'm kind of involved into some private groups. access your page and apps in Insights, um, and then post comments into groups on your behalf. No, that'll get me kicked. So read user content on your page. Yes, but these again are business pages, and I don't want necessarily all that. So I don't. Maybe that had something to do with it. Manage comments on your page. East Tennessee, East Tennessee. No, you cannot do that. Those are business pages. You cannot read user content. No,
It
I
it,
have confidentiality agreements. These here, I don't want to get kicked. That's no one's business. Um, access your page and page insight. Okay, yeah, I'll leave that one. Maybe that was part of it. And groups. No, it doesn't need to see my groups. I, so access your page and app insights. That might be what I did differently. I don't know. We're going to try it. So it's going to hit OK.
I could say this, that if it's connecting though, and it's say if you're actually seeing this actual video or this, and you tested it, and your actual comment comes through, there is obviously some kind of filter that's still turned off. It's kind of like one of those filters that says, do you want to be able to see the comments on your videos before they're posted? It's like
Mm-hmm.
you, it's like you're
Timeline
putting a filter on there. So I think that's what's
timeline
really,
review
yeah, I think
type
that's
thing.
what's malfunctioning. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. That's a really good thought as far as a particular review, um, and then also too, um, I wonder if it's has something to do with like friends only, or if it's just public. Some of the people that I've talked with have said
yeah,
that when it's public, everything works perfect, and then so everything on mine is set to like friends only. As far as communicating back and forth, I mean, like you can't just randomly send me a message and it's just gonna, ding my phone.
yeah,
So, well, but yeah, that's a really good insight there. But even with your comment, that I seen, why is this not working?
yeah,
Um, you're you're a registered user here on HAPS. You're a friend of mine here on Facebook now, but your comment does not show up. No one's
yeah.
comment shows up.
Yeah, I can see that there's what, four, one, two, three, four comments to get total, and none of them are showing up here on HAPS. So, yeah, I think
Well, on
that's
my
just
end,
a settings issue. It's just one of
yeah,
those settings, and some of those settings are kind of confusing. I look at some of those settings on Facebook and I go, yeah, it looks like it's in the right place. Then I just go, something ain't working.
yeah,
So,
which is a little bit kind of confusing to me because I mean, with the way that it is, it should be working, and hopefully, I shouldn't have to compromise my security and make everything 100% public in order to make it to work. You know what I'm saying? Um,
yeah.
and
Are like you doing high level, what kind of work do you do? I mean, you're having most of your Facebook pages kind of like, it kind of looks hidden to me. From what I was looking at before, it was like hard to find your page in the first place. But I know
well,
you probably got what?
yes. Well, I'm a retired electronic technician.
Okay,
I was kind of forced into retirement. When I turned 40, I was dealt with cancer, and I went through all that. And so I'm trying to slowly kind of get back into working, but I still have a lot of knowledge to share and a lot of insight to give, consulting and just overall knowledge. Um,
well, let me tell you something right now. Guess what I just noticed? when I went onto your Facebook page and I clicked under friends, it says no friends to show. So somehow your page settings are set up so Facebook has got all of your friends locked down so nobody can see them. So no
I
one
have
can
that.
see each other.
Right, right. Yes, I
Well, that
have that.
probably also pertains to comments as well, because it makes sense that like I just got into it with a government entity myself with regards to pension disability pay, and so they were basically going into my Facebook page and my YouTube channels and looking at all my content, and I'm going, hey, this is kind of like invasion of privacy, and isn't it? And he goes, well, all of your settings are set to public, and I go, yeah, but still, I didn't invite you to come to my pages, and they said, yeah, but we have the right to do whatever we want when we're giving you pension or physical disability pay. And I
Yeah.
said, okay. And I was talking about cryptocurrencies at that time, so that kind of like threw up a red flag. And now they're just going, hey man, we want to know everything about it. I'm like going, okay, okay. So it's time for me to move out of this country.
Okay. You might be onto something there. And that kind of reminds me. But to go back on what you just said, yes, on my Facebook settings, if I had a public user browse me, they would not be able to see my overall friends list, right?
Okay,
Uh, that was a setting that I had specified, and
right.
I just changed it.
Okay.
Uh, I just now changed it. So with that being said, I may need to disconnect and then reconnect Facebook again, or maybe not. But let me just double check. Who can look up your email, your
Oh, now
friends?
now I'm now I'm seeing your friends list.
Okay, perfect,
I just refreshed the page. Oh, now I can
good.
see all your friends. Oh man, it looks like you hang out with some really bad people, man.
Bad people. What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding.
I'm like, are you talking about like badass, or are you talking about like bad? Like you got to get
Bad
away.
mofos.
Oh man, I tell you what,
No,
I got.
it looks like anybody else's friend list, I understand that too because I didn't realize the extent of that. And then I started within the past, I would say like 6 months or so, I started getting a lot of really strange friend requests on Facebook. And I realized that some of them were kind of like these pornographic sites and stuff where a girl would just go in there and just kind of bait you and go, "Oh,
Yeah,
hi, I know you through so and so." And then, you go to the page and it would be some kind of weird site and you just go, "Ah, come on."
absolutely.
And you'd have to dump it and,
Yeah,
block them. But yeah, I think that these all settings with Facebook, it's almost like they're some kind of cryptographic language because there's so many different settings and so many
and
combinations of settings that it can be a real
and
mess.
and and then just with I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, Pablo, he had a Q&A, and he was kind of going over, he was talking about this particular situation. And I had brought this up, I don't know, over a week ago, and we had been emailing back and forth. And so what he has found is that some people comments will go through, and it shows up as user Facebook with comment. It doesn't really show the name as it funnels into HAPS. It just says
Okay.
user Facebook with a comment. Some people, it will. All right, cool. Your Yep, your
I'm on the
like
ball,
you. Oh
baby.
yeah, I got you. So with some people, it whenever they comment, it will actually show their name, and then with the little blue icon, with the Facebook icon, and it will show
Yeah.
their name. And then some people, it doesn't show at all. So we're
Huh.
trying to decipher what settings is it? And I know Pablo, he's working with Facebook, trying to decipher what specific setting that it is, and then here you and I are, we've already figured out, like the YouTube, but my comments are now showing up, which it wasn't before, and but it's all of the other comments that are coming in. I've got like 13 comments now just on this live, just through Facebook, and none of them are coming through.
Okay.
But Pablo, he will be reviewing this. So I don't really have any other suggestions or even ideas.
I just honestly think that it is one of those settings that's kind of, well, it could be something as simple as restarting the whole broadcast and testing Facebook one more time, because you've changed your friend settings. And which other settings did you change? The comments?
No,
no, because it might require you to what's the word for it? Refresh the whole stream, because it seems like that's what Facebook does. I don't know why. They're kind of quirky that way.
Well, yes. Each permission is like whenever you connect, each permission comes in a 0 or a 1. And during the broadcast, it might be a 0 or a 1. And so yes, I'm totally with you by making a change. So I had my friend request set at a 0. And then I just changed it. I just changed it to a 1. That means on off, right? And so on the Facebook page, you were able to see it immediately. The HAPS connected broadcast may need to reset because it may be stuck still on 0.
Right.
So that is a potential idea. But
where the heck did he go? On off, you're saying?
Yeah. So anyway, Big Don, let me ask you. You said that you've been broadcasting live for quite some time. What do you normally broadcast? What do you normally do?
Well, there for a long time, I was doing this thing called Blab.cafe, because when there was the communication between a lot of the people on the Blab platform, BLAB, I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I have.
Okay, but that platform was connected really nice to Twitter. So what I did is I decided I'm going to just do like a business platform where people could come in and talk about their small businesses and their services and stuff like that. And I would just kind of like interview them. And it was a kind of a way for them to get comfortable being on video, because a lot of these people had never been on video. So I met a lot of people that way. I did 300 interviews on that Blab platform.
Man, that's awesome. And then so basically, I guess in a sense, you were just kind of consulting.
Just kind of like interviewing them to get them to open up, because I had some interesting people come on that show. People that were making gadgets, and one guy, the name of his business was like Spy Gadget, and he actually sold all these really cool little pieces of equipment for surveillance and cameras around your home and security and stuff. And he would come on weekly and just talk to me about a new product every week.
Spy Gadgets, but did it work?
Yeah. He got lots of referrals through that, because his business was really, booming at that time anyways. And but he really sold all kinds of equipment, not just the little Spy Gadget. I mean, smoke detectors in your home and camera systems and motion detection.
Little USB plugs and that's awesome. So Big Don, what is your background? I mean, for you to be consulting, and you have to have some sort of a background.
Well, doing all this stuff, I'm pretty much self-taught. I mean, I learned how to use OBS and all these streaming platforms
Uh-huh.
on my own. I had a little help from friends and people on YouTube and stuff just by watching tutorial videos.
Hmm.
But my background is, I started out in construction and plumbing work,
Okay.
growing up in California. My oldest brother was a plumbing contractor. My next oldest brother was a general contractor. And then my next brother, he was in the military. So
Which branch?
he was in the Air Force.
All right. Yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
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 So
He's actually retired. Can
yeah,
you believe that?
yeah, my dad is actually from the Air Force. That's pretty awesome. So, but yeah, so you just kind of self-taught yourself about streaming platforms and um and then here you are with the like you got a green screen behind, and then you're talking with other businesses and trying to get themselves comfortable, like in front, like front of a camera or things of that nature. So that's a nice little niche, man. I mean,
Yeah.
did, did you
I
charge
think
for?
that's hard for a lot of people to get comfortable on screen because they are very self-conscious. They're just too worried about how they look and sound on camera. So,
Yeah,
you have to it's nice to be able to have a conversation with them, and then they can start talking about their business and their products, and then or their services, like if it's a service industry. So then
comfortably.
they can, even do like a little bit of advertising at the same time.
Yeah,
It's a different way of doing it.
yeah. For me, just dealing with multiple businesses, I've always dealt with the public. So
Yeah.
being face to face was never an issue. And there was a few times that the local news media wanted to interview me, and that's about the only time that I ever got nervous. And it was nervous about what I was going to say, uh,
Yeah.
and because it wasn't what I was going to say; it's what they could misscrew and change it into
Yeah.
something else. And that is what I was mainly overall concerned about, when I was
Yeah.
talking to the new, and then I talked to him twice live, and both times they tried to cut, splice, edit exactly what I was saying to make it sound like,
Really?
oh yeah, to make it sound like I was saying something completely else,
Okay.
when in fact I wasn't saying that at all. Um,
Yeah, I think that that's a weird thing about media in this day and age, because you've got these people from both right and left wing groups that are just looking for people to mess up. So it's like, yeah, they're just you have to be on a vigilant kind of on your guard all the time, because I've even had people on this platform that have said certain things and they go, "Oh, you're racist," and I'm going, no, you don't even know who my friends are, man. So you can't go around saying something like that just because I said something that you
yeah,
feel is inappropriate. So
yeah,
yeah, it's really rough now. There's so many people that are just looking, they basically, if they get their toes stepped on, they just cry out and make a big fuss over nothing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's a tough world, and like you never really want to hurt anyone's feelings, and like intentionally, and you don't want to step on anyone's toes in intentionally. But if you're
yeah,
but if you're speaking the truth and you're talking the truth and you're sharing the truth and you're sharing the love and the vibes, and just being a good human being, if you accidentally hurt someone's feelings or step on their on their shoes, um kind of like my kind of like the old saying says, if the shoe fits, wear it.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, sometimes the truth hurts, and it's no pun intended. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but
yeah.
if the truth hurts, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's the truth. So, well,
But
man,
I think it's changed a lot from the time I started until now. Because the other thing that I noticed when I started is I have always had my real name listed, and I've always been on camera from day one. When I had a friend that was like he's also a real high level technician. He's one of those kind of guys that builds whole APIs and platforms for other big companies to use. So he's like real high level developer, and
mhm.
uh, and I met him just randomly on YouTube, and he sent me like he actually called my computer, and at that time I didn't even have a camera or a microphone connected to my computer because I was using it as a computer. I wasn't using it for conferencing. And
Right.
he sent me this message, and all of a sudden my computer started making a funny noise, and I'm going, my
Brrr,
telephone.
brrr,
Yeah,
brrr.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, what's going on? So I just hit the button and answered it, and he started talking, and I'm like going, I don't know if you can hear me, but I don't think I have a microphone. So I talked for a minute, and then I ran and grabbed an old funky pair of like headphone microphone things. I plugged it in, and I go, I'm really sorry, but I've got like an ancient pair of, headphones and a microphone
Sure.
like what you're wearing now. But it was really old piece of crap. And I started talking to him. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "This is your friend Peter from Australia." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." And that was my first interaction on what do you call it? Hangouts,
Right.
Google
Yeah.
Hangout.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to do a bunch of prank calls with Google Talk back in the day. You can change your phone number. You can make it whatever you wanted, and like you can just prank call. You know, so probably shouldn't say this live. I'm sorry, Washington County, if you see this, but I actually was just testing it out one day, and I called the Washington County Detention Center from their own phone number,
Yeah.
and I
Hello.
and
Or
well,
yeah, I'm in the
yeah,
bathroom.
well, no, you know what happened, right? It went straight to voicemail,
Oh,
and then
okay.
back in the day, you just hit star, and it says, "Please enter your passcode." And I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm hanging up. But yeah, so you can call, and then what I found is that you can actually call someone's phone from their phone
Wow.
number, whether it be, back in the day, Alltel, Suncom, Bell South, Singular Wireless, even Verizon, and then even AT&T, all this early from 2000 all the way up to about 2017. You can call from that phone number to that phone number, and it would go straight to voicemail. And then all you had to do was just hit star, and if people didn't have their voicemail set up, there was no password.
Oh,
and,
okay.
and there was like 50% of people did not have their password set up,
Yeah. So you could just put in 1 2 3 4 and set it up yourself.
or either that or just 0000.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can enter in a password, lock them out, or you can listen to all their voicemails, and or you can. One of my favorite things is it was to call my buddy's phone, and then create their own greeting. I would just create their own greeting, and yeah, it was kind of fun.
Don't call me back. If this is
Yeah.
Chris, don't call me back.
Yeah, so a lot of my people here on Facebook, like they know me. I've been in like the electronic industry for a long time, and I've been everything from cell phones to laptops and desktops to gaming consoles, home and audio, surveillance systems, car stereos.
Wow. So
Just
how did you learn all that stuff? I mean, was that something that you took up in school when you were in grade school or high school or?
no, well, truthfully, my dad got me started in in like electrical work when I was young.
Oh,
Just like like just like electrical work, AC, AC current, wiring houses, and then um, and I took some courses through high school with the electrical, but I was always intrigued about DC current, and I always loved music. So, the amplifiers, the car battery, the stereo, all that's all DC current. And
yeah.
so, way back in probably 1993, I started working on speakers and amplifiers and started doing my own stuff. And I realized that I was good at it, and I was able to fix a lot of my stuff. And I remember, I want to say it was my junior year. Yeah. Yeah, my junior year, I turned 16, and this was in 1994. Yeah, 1994. Maybe 93, 94. I had worked hard for my money, and I went to, and I'm not going to say the actual provider's name, but I went to a cell phone provider, and and I signed a contract, and I got the phone, and I was paying $30 a month for 30 minutes.
Wow.
It's $1 a minute, $1 a minute for 30 minutes a month, and I was paying, yeah, 30 minutes for $30 a month, and and I
Wow.
bought I bought this phone, and I took it home. I read the manual. I charged it just like they said to, and it worked for like one day. And then when the battery died, I plugged it back up, and it wouldn't charge. It wouldn't charge.
Piece of crap.
So so I took it back to the place that I bought it, to the provider, and then here I'm already obligated for a 1 year contract, and this is like 5 days later. I took it back to them, and I'm like, it's not working, like it won't charge.
Okay.
And they said, well, you must have done something to it. I says, no, I didn't do anything to it at all. And they said, well, I'm sorry, we're not going to warranty it. You can contact the manufacturer to see if
What
they'll
kind of
warranty.
phone was it? Like a Motorola or something?
It was an Ericsson 768.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
never will forget it. It was an
Okay.
Ericsson 768.
Wow.
And so so I so I called Ericsson, and they said, well, yeah, you can like you can print off this, and here's where to ship it to, put it in a box. I paid to have it shipped to them,
Yeah.
and they had it for like almost 6 months, and then they sent it back to me and said it was a accidental damage, and that it was not covered under warranty, and it was going to cost me another $120. And I'm 16 years old, so $120, and like we're talking 93, 94. But that's a lot of money for a 16-year-old. And I'm like, no, man, and I didn't do anything to it. But yeah, I still had to pay this contract $30 a month, and I couldn't use it.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, fine. Send me my phone back. They charged me $30 to get my phone back. So I got my phone back. And then I took the phone apart,
Okay.
and I found the problem, and I put it back together. I fixed it, and then ever since then, I'm like, okay, I can do this. And then I started working on car head units and speakers and amplifiers, and started understanding DC circuitry, and educating myself. And then as I move forward, getting into the overall electronic repair. This is before Yahoo. This is before Google.
Right.
This is before YouTube. so everything had to be all self-taught.
Okay.
And there was there was like, like if I was to experience an issue with a desktop computer or a phone or anything, if I typed into any kind of like ask or anything that was available, there was no search, no there was no help online,
Schematics, no nothing. Yeah.
no nothing. Um, so thank God to Hotmail Messenger. Hotmail Messenger. There were groups that you can kind of create and talk with. Turns out there's another guy just like me in Utah, and there's another guy just like me in Melbourne, Florida. There's
Okay.
three people in the United States that are studying cell phone repair.
Okay.
That's it. And we talked back and forth, back and forth. We shared ideas, and I tried this. This was my results, and then we would just kind of compare notes back and forth, and before long, um, we all built businesses, and
Okay.
the first three cell phone repair shops in the overall nation. And now it's grown to over a $5 billion industry.
Yeah.
And many years late up at night, just doing math, configurations, studying, trying to self help. And then when I figure it out, when I find something and I figure it out, I put it online, and I
Yeah.
would make it available. And like we worked as a team, and
That's cool.
that's kind of the way the cell phone thing started. Computers is a little bit of a different story, but overall, getting into the like the electronics, it all started because I was cheated and robbed when I was 16 years
Necessity.
old, and they pissed me off. So I
Yeah.
said, "All right, I'm going to change it." And
There's a guy who does a lot of laptop repairs, and he does a lot of iPad repairs and stuff like that in New
yeah,
York. And his name's Louis Rossman. He's got a YouTube
I
channel.
I love Lewis, man.
Yeah,
Lewis is
he's cool,
awesome.
isn't he?
Oh
So
yeah,
anyway, so he said
yeah.
that that's how his sister got into electronics almost the same way. He said she just basically had the need to repair something, and when she found out how much it was going to cost, she just says, "No, no, I'm going to do this myself."
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really it was cool to hear
man.
that story.
You
One of
know,
my very first mobile phones, though, was like an old flip phone from Motorola. And it was such a piece of crap that every time I made a phone call, it would drop the message, it would drop the calls constantly. And I hated that thing. And that was living in Costa Mesa, California at the time with that mobile phone.
what
And I just
what
got rid of it. And I said, I don't ever want to have one of these things again. So
what
my next phone did
what
not come until I moved to Denmark.
what year was that?
Oh, I don't even remember. It was literally when Motorola first came out with that flip phone, I saw it and I go, I got to get one of those.
Was
And
it?
so
Did it have a silver backing and a black inside? Silver black,
kind of like this color of gray plastic.
right on the inside.
No, on the shell,
Okay, on the
I
shell.
believe, unless I'm just getting backwards. But
Okay,
for some reason I remember it being a kind of a gray, ugly plastic. It might have been black, but it was just a basic Motorola. I could probably look it up and find it.
okay.
But
Well,
anyway, it was a
um,
piece of crap because I think the repeater system or whatever the system was that we were running on in California, maybe it was just overloaded or something, and it just did not work very well at all.
are
You
you still
know?
with me?
Yeah, I'm still here. I saw
Okay.
it blink out there for a
Yeah,
second.
blink. Okay. Um, actually, Yeah, and like one of the reasons why I was going to ask is because Motorola came out with this flip phone way back in the day. It was a Motorola V60, and it was made of like stainless steel, but it was black, and it was terrible, terrible, terrible phone. Uh, it was great for the overall repair company, but one of the absolute best phones ever made was a StarTAC,
Okay.
and and um, and it was made by Motorola,
Yep.
but there were
Oh, here
absolutely.
I've got a page open. I'm looking at one right now, the one that I had. I can see the one you're talking about. It looks like well, then they also had the Motorola Razor, but
Oh yes,
mine was called a MicroTac 980X, I believe. It was old, clunky, it was a big thick phone. It was like this thick and had the pull up antenna that you could pull out and extend.
Microtech what 980.
Yeah, original Motorola flip phone. It I guess the technical name was Motorola MicroTac TAC 9800X. The first flip phone from Motorola, and that's what I had. Let me see if I can do a screen share and I'll show it to you.
That's okay. Yeah, I've got it pulled up over here on my other screen.
That
Microtech 9800X. Oh
yeah,
yes, yes, yes,
that one
yes.
right there, man. I had one of those things and it was the biggest piece of crap because when I worked for the city of Newport Beach, we had Motorola radios in our work trucks and they were really reliable, but this was some kind of radio system as opposed to these mobile phones where I think they were relying on some kind of repeater system and maybe it just had too much traffic on it all the time.
Well, that and these were strictly all analog, so it kind of
Yeah.
it all depended on where you were at, and yes, and that was also the time when household wireless phones were
Yeah.
actually being introduced, and lots of times, if you remember, you pick up your home phone on the wireless, and then you hear someone talking in the background, and
Yep.
they were yeah, there was a lot of interference with the old analog signal. Uh, but yeah,
Yep.
one of the best phones that were ever made had zero screws in it. Zero, zero screws.
Really?
Yep,
Wow.
yep, yep. Many
So
many
what?
years.
Everything, all the components were just snapped in or soldered in?
Uh, on the made board, all of the hard components were soldered.
Okay.
All the extra peripherals, they were like plug-ins, and it had room to move. So if you dropped it, it would be able to absorb the shock and it wouldn't break. Um,
Wow, that's amazing.
but but it was also one of the hardest phones to take apart without breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, super super cool with the older technology. Um, but yeah, so just with all the phones and things, kind of pissed me off, and that's what got me into it. But yeah, Lewis, man, I think he's been doing laptop repair. I think he's been doing it like now for around 12 years, and
Yeah.
I think he's still over there in Manhattan, isn't he? Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I think he
yeah,
was getting pissed off. He said something about moving out of New York because of the cost of the rent, and he wasn't having very much luck since this COVID thing going on.
yeah,
And I heard him
yeah,
ranting about that a few times, and
yeah.
rightly so. I mean, the rents there are crazy, aren't they?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. New York is absolutely stupid. And then I remember maybe a couple years back, he was moving his shop, and he was kind of bouncing
Mhm.
around looking for different like real estate and stuff.
Riding his
And
bicycle around.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was always in his comment section. I'm like, look, dude, I'm telling you, get out of New York, man. I mean, you can come down here to Tennessee and charge the same prices, and because you know with the type of work that he's doing micro soldering.
Yeah.
That is what I call level 5, right?
That's specialized, huh?
It is, yeah. Like you got level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and and for myself, I did them all. So I know what it takes to do his level of work. But with his level of equipment that he's got is super expensive equipment, and he's so good. And then what I really liked about Lewis is that he went in front of the town commission, the state, and he fought for the right to repair,
Right to
and
repair. Yeah. Yeah.
and
That was
he
in
and he
cases.
traveled around from state to state to state, standing up and fighting for the right to repair.
Yeah.
And because
Yeah.
I
He's
mean,
a smart cookie. I mean, I think that the way he built his business was really cool too, because he didn't get ahead of himself. It seemed like he built that business really slow and steady, and he just added employees as he needed them, which
that's
was,
right. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an amazing success story, and truthfully, there's not many people today that will still call me up and say, "Well, are you still doing cell phone repair?" And I'm like, "No, I quit that. My hands ain't the same. My vision ain't the same.
Yeah.
After chemo and surgery and all that other stuff, no, I'm not going to I'm not going to compromise your equipment. So I just quit it." And they said, "Well, who do you recommend?" And I'm like, "There's only one other person that I know, and that's Lewis."
Yeah.
And and
Yeah.
I've never actually spoke to him. We kind of chit chatted back and forth a couple times through the comment section of YouTube, which ain't nothing. Um, but
Yeah.
I've never talked to him. But I've referred many customers from East Tennessee to him. Only
Yeah.
because and I said, "Oh, well, so what if it costs you $40 to
To
ship
send
it?"
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was like, "So what?" Just
Well, there's a lot of people too that I realized that there were a lot of people who were in that situation where they had dropped their phones in water or something, or their laptop got wet, and then like water repairs and those types of repairs to retrieve all the data that's on your
right,
device, especially if you have a bunch of family photos and stuff.
right.
That's the only reason that most people have any value in their laptops and their mobile devices. They're just saying, "Oh, I got
Well,
really good vacation photos and I got to get those back."
there,
But
yeah,
he's really patient with those people.
yes. You are exactly right. There was a transition between it would be cheaper to go ahead and then just fix your phone, and now it's kind of transitioned to where you got insurance that covers multiple things. The insurance really changed and overall hindered the repair business. Um, and but what still yet justifies repairs today is personal information, just like what you just said.
Yeah.
Cell phone data, laptop data, things that you can't get back. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah. I
and
just went on
so
vacation. My kid dropped the phone in the toilet.
yeah,
It
absolutely.
stinks.
And so, people would say, I don't care about the phone. I don't care about the computer. I can replace that. I just want my information and
Yeah.
data recovery. And it's really more like a forensic type repair. Um,
Yeah.
and it's not always easy to do, and but yeah, it's extremely valuable to people, and then still yet today, and truthfully, I think that's really the only thing that's kind of holding on to. Um,
I'll
I
just say
see.
a friend of mine, Fraser.
Oh yeah, yeah. Uh, that's
Ed
that. That's basically like the only thing that's holding on the actual repair business is personal information, and then like the more cloud services, the more that people jump on, Google, whether it be Google Drive or iCloud or
AW,
yeah, all these
Amazon
different
Web
cloud
Services,
services. Yeah,
AWS. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of those things too, where it feels like they got you over a barrel, because you've got the subscription model now, and it's like, yeah, you got to have all your payments up to date and everything, or else we're gonna shut your access down. It's almost like ransomware.
yeah. Well, very, very
I
well
always have
said.
everything backed up on hard drives because I got a couple of terabytes. I get a couple terabytes of storage. So it's good. But I think now that people are getting into cryptos as well, they're basically understanding though that the idea of personal data and stuff is really important for them to have backups of their information when it comes to that.
Yes,
So they don't get
absolutely.
stuck with their
All
hat in their
right.
hand.
Well, do I need to let you go, or are
No,
you
I
trying to?
all I have to do is hit that exit button in the bottom part of the screen.
Mhm.
There's an exit button.
Well, no, no. I was just wondering. Like, do you want to bring your friend on, or or
Um,
or or
I
or
don't
should I
see
just
him
let you
anymore.
go?
I don't see him anymore. Um, no, I was just kind of disappointed though. This last when I heard this whole snafu with Huawei, the Chinese phone company, because I was thinking, man, these are really good phones. I mean, I have one right here, and it's
Yeah,
been one of the best phones I've ever had.
yeah,
uh, as far as storage speed and actually just the full sheer volume of stuff that you can put on this thing. It's
yeah,
crazy. It's got lots of memory.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
got an
And
amazing camera system.
mm-hmm. and
Yeah.
and then the U.S. version of that. Well, now it's very, very limited, but I would say 2010 to 2014, they were readily available here. Uh,
Yeah.
but the software version, it was dumbed down, and there was a lot of features that were dumbed down, and
Okay.
and it was like, this phone is capable of a whole lot more. And just like I was talking about a 0 and 1, it always comes down to a binary code, and a lot of the features were just turned off, and
Oh, okay. Yeah.
so the US version was just dumbed down, and I
Yeah.
mean, there was nothing that they can do about it.
Probably
And
because of their concerns over, tracking and all those other privacy issues and all that stuff. Yeah.
well,
Well, cities are trying to take our conversations and extort
well,
us.
well,
Knows.
this kind of goes back to Bluetooth. Back in the United States introduced Bluetooth in 2004, and they introduced as Bluetooth headset, right? Well,
Yeah.
Bluetooth was available on multiple devices way before 2004. The FCC would not allow Bluetooth devices to be sold within the United States.
Oh,
However,
really? I didn't know that.
yeah, they wouldn't. And then when it was actually introduced, it was only introduced as Bluetooth headset. So the American population, they learned Bluetooth, and they automatically just associated it with a headset. And they thought
Okay.
that Bluetooth was only a headset. When in other countries, There was Bluetooth monitor, Bluetooth keyboard. There was a Bluetooth. There was a thing that was called Bluetooth object push. There was a Bluetooth audio gateway. There were multiple Bluetooth devices, Bluetooth printers. There you go. Um,
This thing I've had for years. I mean, I've had this for a long time. This is a Rapu keyboard and mouse. They're both wireless, and I've had it for a really long time. And the only reason I actually stopped using this one is because I don't know if it was some kind of software update or something, but it started working really kind of quirky and
are
didn't
you
didn't work as seamless. But might just be something as simple as a software update.
are you sure that that's Bluetooth, or was there a dongle that it worked with, and it
Oh yeah,
wasn't
yeah. There's a dongle, but I thought the dongle is part of the Bluetooth system.
a dongle is probably just an RF frequency that is coded
Oh, okay,
specifically for it. Yeah.
okay.
Um, most likely. But yeah, so way back in the
These
day, uh,
these are Bluetooth then, right? The little earbuds.
yes, yes, yeah,
Okay.
and I had ordered um, a bunch of Bluetooth USB dongles that can be used on desktop laptops back in 1998, and I ordered a bunch of them from overseas, and they were capable of doing 5 simultaneous Bluetooth connections, audio gateway, printing, keyboard, mouse, monitor, headset, object
Wow.
push, multiple devices, multiple functionalities. And when I ordered it, it finally came in, and it was listed as toys. So I'm like, okay. And there was no instructions. There was no instructions on how to install it, or anything.
Yeah.
So here I had to learn. So I plugged it into my first Windows 98 machine, and it crashed my entire system. Just immediately just crashed it. And the Windows 2000, and then even XP. But I eventually learned how to make it work, and you can use it with multiple devices. And
Okay.
here in 2004, the U.S. FCC said, okay, we can introduce Bluetooth. We're allowed to. Uh, our civilians are allowed to use Bluetooth, and all they knew it as is just headset. But there were
So
so many.
so that means that the designers and the developers that were over in China or whatever, they knew about it years beforehand and they had already been using it for a while, huh?
That's correct. And
Okay.
and 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 our whatever government or the FCC, they knew about it. They had been using it. It's just what they do with technology is they just hand you just a little bit at a time,
Yeah.
and
Or
say,
they feed it to the military. Go, you guys can try this out.
and right, and but they feed it to the population and the civilians, and say, okay, here you can have this service, here you can have this
Yeah.
service, you can
Yeah.
have this service. So, and then even still yet today, um if you say Bluetooth over here in America, most people automatically assume that you're talking about a headset.
Yeah. Yeah.
And uh
Yeah, or earbuds or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But they have no idea of what Bluetooth is actually capable of.
So
Uh,
what's the deal now with the 5G networks and stuff like that, or 4G, 5G? I mean, is that actually being released? Because you got to remember, I moved from the United States in 2001, so I've
oh
missed a lot
wow,
of technical hurdles that people had to jump over.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if you left in 2001, you moved when WAP and GPRS was a thing over here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And so since then it went 2G, 3G, 4G, and now 5G. It's
Okay.
just it's basically in a nutshell, it's just more of the same. Um, and they're going to milk you dry. There's companies out here that are charging prime dollar for 4G when they know that they can give you 5G, or
Yeah.
and
I was
5G.
thinking, I was also thinking about that whole idea when I saw the Starlink system going live. I just thought, man, this is going to be a game changer because people will be able to stop paying all these different hard wired systems for their internet connections and just pay one monthly fee. And I would think that a device like that should be able to carry quite a few devices on it. So, like if you're out in the middle of the woods somewhere, you're away from the you could in theory share the cost of it with your neighbor and say, hey, yeah, you can connect to this Starlink and we'll just share the cost.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Now that is definitely going to be a game changer. Now, uh, if it's kind of funny that that you mentioned Starlink, is because many years ago there was a satellite company that tried to provide internet service as well as cable and phone, and it was called Starlink.
oh,
Uh,
really?
many years ago, um, and it was super expensive, but it was very helpful to like the rural area to where you didn't have DSL or a cable. And But yeah, there was a Starlink, kind of like satellite, of I guess what most people today would consider Dish or Direct TV or something like that. But
Right.
it was so inconsistent with the weather, and um and it was super slow. It was just a little bit better than a 56K modem.
Oh, yeah.
um and so it didn't really take off. But yes, now, to my understanding, with this Starlink, you can prepay your fiber, or what would be fiber optic connection, but you can prepay your subscription right now, through the Starlink, and be one of the first subscription services. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to be first, you get on board.
I think I've seen some YouTube videos where these people down in, I believe this one guy was doing a video from Florida and another guy was, I don't remember what state he was in, but there's been some people that have already gotten their systems in a box and they're like showing videos of them setting up the system. And it's really cool because the dish is fairly small, but it's really powerful. I mean, they go in and they check their Wi-Fi speeds. Oh, and it's that, what's that other kid? He's got a YouTube channel, something on tech. Is oh, what's his
Linus Tech Tip.
Linus on Tech. He set up a Starlink as well.
Yeah.
They set
Linus
one up
Tech.
in the roof.
Yep. Linus Tech Tips. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. So for some reason, it seems like everyone that you're tossing out, I already know, between
yeah,
Lewis Rossman and then Linus. Um,
Linus. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. These are some of the leading technicians within the country, for sure. And something else to kind of counter here in East Tennessee, and not just here in East Tennessee, but just around the world. A lot of power companies are now introducing their own fiber optic,
yeah,
and then, of course, the only reason why phone companies are still in business is because they own the power poles and they lease it to the cable companies. That's the
yeah.
only reason why the phone companies are still in business, is because they own the power poles and the cable companies lease it from them. And but
Yeah.
now, I'm
I was
sorry,
just
go
going
ahead.
to say that's the same thing. Well, what happened here in Denmark is years and years ago they started laying the conduits for the fiber optic system, But I said, "Oh, that's really great. We're going to have fiber optics." And the guy goes, "Oh, not for a few years." And I go, "Really?" He goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah." He goes, "What we have to do is we lay the conduit, which is these small plastic tubes with a bunch of tubes in it."
Right.
And he goes, "We lay this all out." And then he goes, "When we get enough people on one street that actually orders the services, then we'll come in and install it." And
Uh,
so it took 2 years from the time they actually installed a lot of the conduit to run the fiber optic network. And now I'm on fiber optics, but it works pretty good
yeah, that's awesome.
system.
Yeah. So um, I can definitely foresee the cable companies being forced to to basically give more to the customers,
Yeah,
because the power board is now going to be providing fiber optic.
yeah. Or the what is the other systems that are the 5G systems that are working with those smaller repeaters that are mounted on poles? Those systems are also as really powerful from what I understand,
They are, yes,
but
and
it just takes a lot more of them.
right, yes, it does. So we're looking at, like the mass income of cable companies come from media and then the overall entertainment. People are starting to cut cable, and they're going for other means of entertainment.
Yeah,
Whether it be Hulu, Netflix, or Disney, or Fire Stick, or they're just going to different sources of their overall media.
yeah,
So the cable company is, they're frantic. They're over here, and like they're charging extra for their cable service. And just like the wireless internet service providers, whether it be AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile or Sprint or any of them, they could have been offering you much faster speeds a long time ago.
yeah,
5G is not new. 5G's been available 4 years ago.
yeah, yeah,
5G is just like what I was telling you. In 1998, Bluetooth was available, but it wasn't introduced until 2004. Same thing with 5G. 5G's been available for a long time, but what all they want to do is they want to nickel and dime you, get all your money out of 3G and 4G, and then they're going to introduce something else. It's just a marketing plan, a marketing scheme, and
yeah,
but with this Starlink coming in with a much faster direct link, it's going to put everybody on notice. The power boards that are now starting to provide fiber optic, it's going to have to be a much more competitive rate. The cable companies, you're either going to have to step up your game or cut down the damn power poles and then be gone.
yeah,
Um, there's a there's a huge change when it comes into the way people get internet
yeah.
within their homes. There's a huge change coming, and it might be 3 years or 5 years, but it's coming.
Yeah, I
It,
think that all these other changes, these infrastructure changes too, they should have changed years ago because I watch the news from time to time from the United States. Like I said, I haven't been there for 20 years, so but when I do watch the news from the United States, it's like they're showing these pictures in certain states where there's been an ice storm and the cables are getting frozen, and then they get so heavy that they actually drop. And I look around here in Denmark and there's no power poles because they buried all the power cables years and years ago. And I'm thinking, why don't they just get off their butts and do that? Because it makes so much more sense for having all the power cables underground.
well, that's actually kind of funny that you just mentioned that, because most of our historic places, like, okay, I'm in Jonesboro, Tennessee, right?
Okay.
Jonesboro, Tennessee is the oldest town in Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's the oldest town in Tennessee. Guess what? Everything is underground.
Yep.
They did that
They did
many.
it for aesthetics though, right?
They did it years ago. All the power, all the water, everything is run underground.
Yeah.
It was done many years ago. You go to Greenville. Greenville is super old. It's also a historic. Rogersville is also historic.
Yeah.
Bristol, of course, I'm sure you heard of Bristol. Bristol is also historic. Underground,
Yeah.
all underground.
Wherever there's an aesthetic where you have really cool old architecture and stuff, they want to hide those power poles and stuff. But in certain cities, it's like, oh god, you look around, there's like poles going everywhere, wires
Everywhere.
in the air, every direction.
But
I
I
remember
mean,
in my backyard when I was growing up in California, and there's a big power pole with one of those big transformers on it, and
mhm,
lightning hit it and just blew it to pieces. I was like, whoa.
yeah. But this the like this underground stuff, this wasn't stuff that was done recently or even 40 years ago. This was done this is done years and years and years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And then once you get out of the city limits of Jonesboro, then here comes these power poles, here comes these telephone poles. They just come everywhere. But yeah,
ease
I'm
ease of
I'm
ease, ease of installation, but then they don't. I don't think that the city planners back in those days, back in the 50s and the 60s, I don't think that they had that in mind. The
no,
longevity of the systems and the amount of maintenance costs. I
right.
just don't think that they were thinking clearly about that.
No, no,
So
no. Clearly not.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're
Even
definitely
roads. I remember growing up in California, parts of the city where I grew up, it was like really nice to be able to ride your bicycle anywhere around town, and you didn't have to worry about getting pinched from the cars because there wasn't that many cars on the road, and it
yeah.
felt like traffic was going at a normal pace.
Hmm.
But with years going by and more cars on the road, all of these roads that I used to ride on a bicycle, I just go, no, there's no way I would ride down that street on a bicycle anymore.
Yeah,
It's just
right.
too dangerous.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much on any road. In hell, I can think of all kinds of country roads over here in Jonesboro. I mean, we're barely even on the map, or just even outside of Jonesboro. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't do that no more. And then I think we're, like we're about 10 year difference. Like in age, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I used to ride my bicycle literally. I would ride my bicycle probably about 10 miles to the local swap meet with my friend. And at that time, there was no question. You didn't have to wear a bicycle helmet or anything. It's just like you
Yeah,
get on your beach cruiser and you ride somewhere. You could ride for miles and miles. And just there's no question of your safety because, as long as you're keeping your eyes out, you're okay. I
yeah,
only had one incident ever on my bicycle where I felt really endangered, and that was because I don't know if the guy was drunk or if he was falling asleep at the wheel, but he was coming towards me on a road, and I was going against traffic, and I was riding on the street. So he was coming my direction, and I saw him swerve over into the curb, and his wheels started to rub against the curbstone, and he panicked and he turned the wheel really quick, but I picked up my bicycle up onto the sidewalk at the same time. I should have been on the sidewalk in the first place, but it wasn't one of those things that I thought about because there wasn't that much traffic on this particular road. But
right.
that's the only time I ever felt, like I was, you know,
Endangered.
in danger. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, crazy times, man. But yeah, I mean, growing up, I wish that there's a way that we can kind of go back to that old school way of living, but at the same time,
all in the street.
but you got to be careful what you wish for, because in order to get to that point, a lot of bad stuff would have to happen.
Well, I don't know how this system, I mean, the Fed and all the stuff that's going on with the economy is pretty rough right now. So I don't know how they're gonna work these problems out because these financial situations that the states are, well, a lot of countries are in it around the world.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's a lot of economies that are slowing down to a standstill.
Yep.
and I just don't know, what's going to come of it.
Yeah. Well, it's rough over here. Just with
Yeah.
the change of the presidency,
Yeah.
and and everything that's going on with that, and it's a lot of changes back and forth, and then of course we're starting to kind of get over the whole COVID pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
Um, it's a rough time for us all, but
Yeah.
hey, Donald, man, I'm gonna end this. But
Okay.
yeah, you've been with me. I think the first time for like 40 minutes, and this is going on like an hour and 25. So, man, I really, really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
It was very nice meeting you,
Yeah. It was nice meeting you too.
and
Yeah, it's
hopefully,
been a while since I've spoken to. I mean, I've been on other streams where I'm talking to other people from the States, but I have been meeting a lot of people from Europe and stuff just because the time difference.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
coming on at different hours of the day and stuff. So yeah, but I do like, I do like conversing with people, especially now we got this Lewis Rossman and what's his name, Linus Tech,
Linus,
all that
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. Oh yeah, Lewis, and then
Barnacles, the
oh
guy
well,
I know.
well. Let's rewind. We got our name is the same.
Yeah,
We know Lewis Rossman. We know Linus Tech Tips,
yeah,
and then there's a lot in common.
yeah.
And I'm sure like the more that we converse, I'm sure we can find a whole lot more in common. And
Brothers and sisters, how many do you have?
I have three sisters, no brothers.
Okay, I have three older brothers and one younger sister.
Three older brothers,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then one younger sister.
One younger sister than me. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that means that you got your butt kicked a lot and picked on, and then
Oh yeah.
that means that you trickle that down to your younger sister because she's the only one that that you can pick on.
She was pretty tough, man. She had to deal with all of us, and she was like the little princess because that's what my mom was trying for. She goes, "I finally got my
Ah,
girl,
right.
the
Yeah.
baby of the
So
family."
so so she ended up having four boys and one girl.
Security guards, yeah,
Yeah, there you go. All
yeah,
right, man. Well, God bless you, my friend. It was a blast talking with you. Clearly, Facebook comments aren't working, and maybe I'll do another test on that later. I'll Pablo is probably going to email later. He's going to watch this and then try to
yeah.
kind of just kind of decipher what maybe I did wrong or
No, I don't
whatever.
think it's anything you did wrong. I really think that it could easily be just one of those Facebook connection settings that you
Mhm.
have that's basically not allowing those comments to come through. I think that's what's going to happen. They're going
Okay.
to find out that's what's going to be the connection
And
error.
I think what I'll do next time, big D there. Um, I think what I'll do is I'll just disconnect and then I'll reconnect and then I'll just allow all connections.
Yeah,
And
just try that out and see what happens. Yeah.
yeah, and then just test it. And then of course I'll have to change it because I mean I can't have HAPS accessing my business pages, that I oversee and I help manage and stuff.
I I believe that it will only access one page. I believe that's the settings that it's working on now. So and that's basically because I think it was like Blab used to do too. It would only access your personal page, your regular profile page.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
But,
So yeah.
it
Well, that'll be my next test.
yeah,
All
cool.
right. So I guess it's probably what about 8 o'clock your time or something like that.
Yeah.
Getting ready.
It's almost 9 o'clock
9
p.m.
o'clock.
Yeah, it's 10 to 9.
What you gonna do for dinner?
Probably just cook some steak. I only eat one meal a day.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing that for years. So it's the most important meal of the day because it's the only meal of the day.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, happy cooking to you. Again, thank you for the new friendship and jumping on and helping. And
Yeah.
and and man, I look forward to talking to you again.
Yeah. Welcome to Haps.
All right. See you, buddy.
I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Bye bye.